For your parts today here, we're going to remove some of this laser splash and so forth and get you a nice grain. We have here a very simple single head belt machine. We have also ones with a belt that is longer with a larger contact drum. This is a 5-inch contact drum with a 60-inch belt. Very straightforward single head white belt sander. The whole machine is 44-inch wide. Of course, on a belt like this isn't our super high friction belt. A small part like this has a tendency to slip, so you need to adjust the height of the belt so that you don't have too much pressure on the part. Otherwise, the part will go forward. So as you adjust this down, the center will actually bring the contact roller up, so that you still have good contact with your part and the pressure roller, so that the pressure roller holds it. But as you can see, the pressure roller spacing is bigger than the part, so as it lets go, it may slip a little bit in between. Then you're going to have to rerun it and keep your conveyor belt clean. Okay, so we have set all this up. All we do is we hit the start button, we turn the conveyor on, we run a fairly quick speed because we want to make a straight line grain. You get a surface, and this is just a 160 grain. Okay. So, this is our cross belt machine. We will afterwards take this part. We will send you a couple of parts where we just do the grain, and then we will take 2 parts and we will run them through our cross belt machine. And our cross belt machine does the edge rounding. So this is what we are going to use on your small parts where you say, I want to have these edges nice and smooth and not sharp. These are very sharp right now because you ran them through a belt sander, and a belt sander does give you a secondary burr. All these edges are really sharp too. This machine will hold a small part very well because it has a high friction belt, and once the parts are under the cross belt, there's one in the front running right to left, one in the back left to right, so that we catch all edges. And of course we need to do that parallel to the grain. The scotch in here will smooth out the grain, and at the same time the abrasive will break all the edges. But you will still see the grain in the surface of the part. Right? So all we do is we set the material thickness here, and we set the brush depth. We turn the cross belt on, cross belt at full speed, and this at about 3 to 4 feet a minute. And like I say, we go parallel to the grain. At the same time, we can take this part right away, which has the PVC coating on the back. So now, this, as you see, runs of course at a much lower speed because we need to give this brush time to act on the edges and make those edges nice and round. But it will not only make the edges right now you see the consistency of that grain is nicer, and you have really nice and round and broken edges that are not sharp anymore. We will also turn this around and run the back side. And here with this part also, you see it doesn't have a consistent finish, so we're going to take a couple of those parts and run them through the belt sander again, but it has very nice and good rounded edges. And I will also show you what it will do with the PVC. So here, this part we ran through the through the white belt sander before, also from this side, but very light. That's why you see a little bit of striping. So that would be just what you would do to remove any dross and burrs or any laser slabs around the hole. And here you see what it does with the PVC. It doesn't remove the PVC, but it still rounds your edges so that you have no sharpness in the edges, but you still have the full protection of the PVC with your number 4 finish underneath. Okay, so turn this off for a moment and a couple of these, and we'll see if we can run those on here. That seems to be, this is like an 18 gauge here. This is a tad thinner, so we need to go up probably a little bit, and again we hit the start button. Always good idea to turn the conveyor belt on before. If you are with your belt in the conveyor belt, it doesn't do as much as you don't have that on. And we will see if we can make this stick, and it really would have to just stick. And it does pretty good. You see, that gives you a pretty consistent finish on the surface. You notice how quick we are going, so that we have a straight line, and also it helps with the part sticking. So, now we can take these parts, which are pre-grained, and run them again parallel to the grain. And then we had, like I say, we ran this part before, which as it was from you, and we have this as the second one. We will run that. And I will write that on here. This was white belt plus cross belt. Okay. This also white belt plus cross belt. And this was cross belt only, but you will see that anyway. So that you know what is what. But just to show you how consistent that is, we will also run these parts from the PVC side. And we'll remove some of that when we do that. Actually removed so little from the surface that you can still see the writing on it. So that was cross belt only. That was white belt plus cross belt. And here is the part again, the white belt and the cross belt with the edge cross. Okay, and then we're going to run one side where we don't do anything, where we just run the cross belt. And I'm actually going to run that diagonal because diagonal works best for the burr. can see the white line around the part, and that's your radio that you see in the reflection. Here again with the partial grain. Here with the full grain. And here with the full grain. Right? Okay, thank you very much. And this is how we will return the part.